as Walcott makes a run ahead of him. Bergkamp suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp! That's magnificent! The move, and then this, which left Dabby's ass totally stranded.
Hello, dear viewer and listener and people doing neither, and welcome to the final ABW Live of the season. And what year is it? 2023, 2024. Wow, and what a season it has been. All the highs, a couple of lows, and nearly a podcast after every single game. So I wasn't going to do one today because people were busy with lives. But then Craig said, I finished my barbecue. Do you want to do one? I was out the front on my phone, editing eBay stuff. I said, I'll go on then. So we are here. Craig, thank you very much for shoving all your family and your barbecue and your animals in another room and coming to do the show. Oh.
I've got some internet. We got some internet problems, have we? I'm muted.
I can hear you now. Go on. Start. Say it again.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Oh, Dan. Yes, I just caught what you said there. Went a bit glitchy there, but yeah, a season full of highs, a season full of lows. But that's what it's all about, mate. When you support a football club, and you are in, this arena, shall we say, being a football fan is like, do you know, sometimes I actually wish, sometimes fellas say to me, how do you watch football? I ain't interested in football. Do you know, I look at them and I go, do you know what? Sometimes I wish I was like you. But yeah, look, I mean, I think I was at peace with finishing second a couple of weeks ago. I think I knew that was what was going to happen. But today I woke up and I was like, do you know what? Until it can't be done, I'm going to keep the faith, and I'm going to keep the faith, and I'm going to put my trust in the footballing gods. But it wasn't to be, asking two bang average teams like Spurs and West Ham to do you a favour against Manchester City. I mean, it's just not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen. But I'm very proud of the Arsenal team. I'm very proud of the manager. Where we've come from in the last 10 years. We were on the floor 10 years ago. I've said it before. To where we are now, taking Manchester City to the last game of the season. We all said the same thing. That's all we wanted. We wanted an Arsenal team that challenges. Now we've got one. The only way is up.
It is indeed. Let's go and say hello to some of the lovely people in the chat who have turned up, even though I cancelled the show and I've had to redo all the stuff again. So Russ Morgan is there, Phil Macker, Brady's Banana, Jim Eves, Foot Gaming, ever see you in a while, sir? Russ says, shoving family in the barbecue, Danny went dark and quick. No. Rudy is there, Jonathan Whitkin is there, and Patrick Carlson. Hello, and lots of numbers is here. And what else have we got? Rudy Rastos is here. Anne says, Partey was hopeless today. I hope he moves on this summer. And Rancid Pumpkin, that's a name I haven't seen for a while. I thought maybe you'd been put in the compost heap. Des Moran, hello. Liam Greyhurst. Stan the Man, I thought you were doing a post-game show. Or was he doing a watch-along? God, if I'd known he was doing a post... If you want to come and join us, Stan, feel free. He was doing a watch-along. Stan the Man.
More the merrier.
Yeah, so it's like you were saying, you still had that little bit of belief. It's a little bit like going to bed on Christmas Eve, wanting a Commodore 64, but you know your parents have got you a Commodore 16, but you still hope. You still squeeze your eyes together and hope and hope. And there's bugger all chance, but it's the hope that kills you, Craig, isn't it?
It is. It is the hope that kills you, mate. And, your analogy there is completely spot on. But I would have changed it for a Commodore 64 to a ZX Spectrum. But again, who just put that in there? Des Moran says it will it's hard for City to win the league next year when they're all in Wormwood scrubs. And Liam's one's a great one. 89 points without cheating. We should be proud of that.
Definitely.
I don't like to go on about those 115 charges too much because we all know what's going to happen. We all know what's going to happen. They're going to get away with it.
Yep.
They're going to get away with it. Like Liam Gallagher tweeted History FC, and I put underneath it, "You will be when the charges are investigated." But I think that's just wishful thinking. Look, they've done it. There's nothing we can do about it. Season's over. It was a good season. I think it was a good season. Disappointed we didn't win a trophy. Disappointed we didn't win a trophy. Disappointed. Getting knocked out of the Champions League. But I'm not despondent, Dan. I'm not despondent. Nope. Disappointed, but not despondent.
I was going to make a point there. It's the whole Man City thing. When I was at school, in primary school, there was this American kid. I lived next to Alconbury, American Air Force Base, about 5 miles away. And so sometimes we had American kids come in, and they'd only be here for a year or two. And he was called Cookie. I don't know his real name. He was an absolute fruitcake. He used to smash stuff up, have tantrums. He'd throw furniture around. He'd swear at the teachers, wouldn't do his work. And much like Man City, much like Cookie, they just pushed him to one corner and ignored him and hoped he went away. And he did. He moved back to America. I'm not sure where Man City can go, but if they just keep ignoring it, hopefully everybody will forget about it. But we won't forget about it, will we?
I mean, it's not up to us to forget. I mean, no. I'm one of those football supporters. Come what may, what will be will be. Like I said this morning, I woke up and I was, full of faith that we were going to do it. But I think it's the head ruling the heart. But Manchester City's charges. Look, we can't do nothing about it as football fans. It's over to the Premier League now. They have got to have the bottle to go in, investigate, and punish accordingly. But, as I just said a minute ago, I haven't got the confidence in the Premier League that they will go in and punish. I think it'll get brushed under the carpet, and we'll go on from there. Shame, really, but, since it's been the Premier League, cast your minds back to 92, was it, I think, when the Premier League started?
Yeah, 92, 93.
92, 93, influx of money, an influx of foreign players. You had the Sky Strikers and all this kind of stuff, dancing on the pitch. I mean, football in England became this huge event. It just wasn't a football match anymore. It was a show. And it's gone on. It's just gone on. It's not the football I remember growing up. The old Division 1 and stuff like that. But it's just gone. I think the Premier League now has gone too big, too posh, too suave, too show. The pundits that are on for Sky Sports and TNT, they're absolutely awful. It's just a big circus now in the Premier League, isn't it? And I think anyone who thinks that that there isn't any corruption in that division is living on another planet. I mean, we've all seen it, whether it's been against us, whether it's been against other teams. Everton get their points deduction straight away. Nottingham Forest get a points deduction straight away. I understand that it was only, it was 2 or 3 charges and not 115, and it takes longer to get through them. But at the end of the day, it should have been done a lot quicker than it has. But look, we can keep going on about the 155 charges all night. There's nothing we can do about it. It's over to the Premier League. It's history now. The games are over. The league is over. Manchester City have won it. And we go again next year.
Stan says, we've come such a long way to be able to go toe-to-toe with City and Liverpool. The team gave an excellent account of themselves. We go again. The main feeling I had during this, you remember a couple of seasons ago when Liverpool only lost 1 game all season. They were by far the best team in the league, but yet Man City still won the league. And then I remember, I feel at the time, even at the time, I thought, that doesn't feel right. and it wasn't right. And yeah, and so I feel.
It's the first time I think it was our highest points tally in God knows how long. We've scored the most goals, conceded the less goals, and we still didn't win the league. So
yeah, that's this little tweet that I did earlier.
Yeah,
magnificent season by Arteta and the boys. To finish 2 points behind 115 Chargers FC is amazing. Broke our goals record in Premier League history by 3. Broke our wins record by an extra 2. Broke our goal difference by plus 11. Taking into consideration, Craig, we did the double in 98, double in 02, and invincible in 2004. All 38 game seasons, we had a better goal difference of 11 than we did in any of them seasons. And I think we might have scored more. Did we score more goals? I had my thing up. Oh, where is it? Oh, here it is. Most number of goals scored in a season. We scored 91. I think that is the most number of goals we scored in a season. Oh, I did say that, didn't I, in the last bit? That's the first one. Plus 3. So the most goals we'd ever scored before was 88. We scored 91 goals. All competitions, 114 goals all season, which isn't our best ever because we had some real deep UEFA Cup runs and extra games whilst having a couple of cup runs. But it's back-to-back runners-up with beautiful football all the way through the season. In my tweet, I put 3 reasons why we didn't win the title. The 2-0 home loss to West Ham, then VAR and the God knows how many decisions, and then Gabriel Jesus with 4 goals in 27 Premier League games. Do you agree in that order, or have you got any to add to that?
Well, I don't like to look at results and say, oh, that was the time, that was the result, we lost it. VAR, yeah, you can say VAR punished us a couple of times with some dodgy decisions. The one I would agree with the most is the 4 in 27.
Unreal. And
I think the reason
250 grand a week.
Yeah, I would point to that being the real reason why we didn't win the league this year. Not pointing the finger at Gabriel Jesus singly, but the fact that we didn't have a striker. The fact that we didn't have a 25-goal, 30-goal striker. Havertz has done absolutely brilliantly. Do not get me wrong. The way Arteta has brought that man on is something to behold. I mean, he came from Chelsea a broken man, and here he is now finishing second, and probably one of his best Premier League seasons since he's been here. I would point the fact that we need a striker. I think that if we'd have had a 25, 30-goal striker, for example, if Oleksandr, Isaac, however you want to pronounce it, was at Arsenal this year, I believe we would have won the league, and I believe we would have won it a couple of weeks ago. I would point to not having a striker. The reason why we didn't win the league, to be honest.
There was 5 times this season at 38 games. 5 times we didn't score. It was away at Newcastle, we lost 1-0. Away at Villa, lost 1-0. Home to West Ham, lost 2-0. Away at Man City, 0-0. Great result. And at home to Aston Villa, 2-0. If Jesus would have been, well, if he'd have been fit, but if he'd have been able to score a goal in a couple of them games, that could have given us the extra couple of points.
Yep.
Or even if it's the 0-0 against, where was the 0-0? Or the 1-1 at Liverpool. Actually, 1-1 at Liverpool is a decent result. So is the 0-0 at Man City. Those I haven't got any grumbles with. But some of the others, like they put their reasons for losing the season. The ball that went out for the Newcastle goal, and the shove on Gabriel's shove. So that goal was disallowed. 2 games against Newcastle.
Yeah.
2 bad VAR decisions.
Yeah. I get it. I understand. I would agree that they were mistakes that cost us points, but I don't like to point at I don't like to point at things that we couldn't have helped ourselves. That's me. I don't like to point and blame. We lost the league because of the push on Gabriel. VAR didn't give it, or the ball went out. This, that, and the other. We should have made sure ourselves that we were going to win the league. And it doesn't help when you've got a system that's not working. Actually, I'll reframe that. It's disappointing when you've got a system that cannot be implied by the people who are supposed to be running it. VAR is not the problem. It's the people who run it are the problem.
Interpretation of it.
Yeah, the interpretation. I mean, again, VAR is all opinion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was the ball out? Can't see. Okay, well, do you think it's out or not? I don't know. What do you reckon? Oh, I don't know. I reckon it might be out. Okay, well, then let's give it the balls out then. You reckon? You agreed? Are we all agreed? Their opinion has cost... you could say that if that doesn't go in, Arsenal could have won the league. Well, that man's opinion cost Arsenal the league. But again, I don't like to point the finger at stuff like that. We should have... I'm still baffled by the lineup against Villa at home. That's what I'm baffed at. I was baffed when he didn't put Havertz up front, and he changed a winning team. And like the old saying goes, don't change nothing if it's not broken. And he did.
Well, that game we had Raya in goal, Zinchenko left back, Saliba and Gabriel centre backs, Ben White right back, Odegaard, Rice, Havertz, and then Trossard, Jesus, and Saka. So I'll take it a bit you on about is Jesus just bringing him back.
Yeah, or Zinchenko. What had Kiwior done wrong?
Well, Kiwior didn't even come on that game. He was an unused sub, so he was fit. Yeah,
and he played. Didn't he play the 3 or 4 games before it and was magnificent?
He was, yeah, and I think it was, and he hasn't really played since, has he?
No, he hasn't.
Played very few minutes since. Gonna have a little look here and see if it tells me. No, of course it doesn't tell me because that would be helpful. But yeah, you've got a point. Let's have a look and see what they're saying in the chat. Patrick Carlson says pundits are the only City fans. RKM says don't buy into the lawyer stuff. Premier League has billions and have the best lawyers. Look it up. They sued Man City. It's been delayed, but it's coming. If it is coming, we talked about this on the podcast midweek. Where is the little thing that I had? Depending how far you're going to go back, I think it'll only go back to 2018-19. That's how Man City's 6 titles in 7 seasons looks. But if you go back to 2019, then that's the season when everybody's been moved up one. So we'd get 2 titles, Liverpool would get 2, and Man United would get 1 or 2, depending on how
Would you want them, though? Would you want them?
That's what I'm going to ask you, because I gave my opinion on the pod, and I said I'd rather have them null and void like they did in Italy and France with Juventus and Marseille. What would you do?
Yeah, I'd rather just have them taken off.
Yeah,
I'd rather Manchester City. When people start saying, like, I had a buddy say to me, "Oh, I'll take the titles." No. I don't want them for the fact that that's not how I've been brought up in sport. If you're going to win a title, you win a title by doing it right. And I get people will say, "Oh, but there's going to be opinions on why we should take the titles, but not for me. Just throw the book at them. Relegate them.
How far would you relegate them?
League 2.
Not out of the league. You do what they did.
I'd put them in League 2.
Yeah,
I'd put them in League 2. Put a massive transfer ban on them. I mean, if they got relegated to the league, let's say, for example, we woke up tomorrow and they were relegated to League 2. How many players are they going to have left?
I was thinking that probably Foden was the only one who'd stay because he's a man there again.
Yeah.
Most of their players would end up in casualty playing in League 2. But again, because when Rangers were dissolved because of financial, they were massively in debt. Whoever bought the club and all the assets then applied to take over Rangers' position in the Premier League. The Premier League voted, "Go and fuck yourself." And then they had to be so the Football League, which is the bottom 3, I think. I don't know if they're separate, FA and Football League like ours is. Anyway, the bottom 3 tiers all voted and they all said yes, because they're all going to get 4 games against Rangers for at least 1 season. Now, they would have to be voted into the Premier League, into the Football League. And that would mean next season we'd have 4 come up from the football, from the Championship. So that would probably mean who's in the playoff final, isn't it? Southampton and Leeds. So they probably go, well, you 2 are both coming up. Man City are going down to the bottom of the Football League. And then the Football League would vote on it and go, I mean, the likes of Peterborough and Southend or whatever the teams are, and Cambridge United, they're not going to go, a home game against Man City and Max. Every single team in League 2 and then League 1 will have their biggest attendance ever if Man City, but they'll come straight back up in three straight seasons.
Well, of course they would.
It's fun,
Is that then too lenient of a punishment? I mean, Phil says here in the chat, a 10-year transfer ban would suit.
I mean, people have been busy chatting. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a very good idea, and I think that's a very good call. Ban them from making transfers for 10 years, which is going to then force them to bring all their youth players through, and then we'll see, and then we'll see how good they are. Something has got to be done about it. But again, I have no confidence in the Premier League whatsoever that they will bring these charges to the forefront and anything will be done about it. I don't trust them one bit.
I can't go through all your messages, people, because there's far too many. Just thank you very much, everybody, being here at such short notice. It's wonderful. Patrick says, put them in the Australian second division. Brady's Banana. Vauxhall Conference, is that still a thing? Stick them there. It's now called the Conference National. Phil says, banish them. Yeah, or take them to the Saudi League. I mean, that's where they get all their money from. Yeah. Make Steven Gerrard their manager, because God knows Pep isn't going to hang around. RKM says, see, I'd celebrate them. Lol. I'd guess I just get bothered by the cheaters prospering. They stole our joy. I'd have parades, celebrate our wins, and don't let them re-steal our joy. Have a parade. And Drago says, it will be a 15-point slap on the wrist at best, let's be honest. It could well be. But if people go back and listen to this podcast from 5 years ago, I was saying that it was an absolute disgrace that Liverpool are the best team in the league. Man City beat Liverpool, lost one game that season, and Man City won the league because of a dodgy game against Liverpool where a goal was given and Man City won that game. Just looking at the top of that league that season, it was 1920-21. Just going to scroll down. Oh no, it wasn't 2021. It must have been the season after or the season before. God, I'm so bad at this. Was it this one?
When in 1920?
It might have been 18-19, where they lost it by 1 point. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. God, it was 2018-19, people. That's about 100 years ago. Liverpool lost one game all season. I'm sure, the chat will correct me if I'm wrong. That was they lost against Man City, and it should have been a draw that game, and the goal was given to Man City when they did it. But to get both, they finished on 97, Man City finished on 98. But to lose one game a season, and Man City lost 4 that season, and I said at the time that it was Liverpool had been robbed of that because of that decision. But then again, I laughed because I hate Liverpool, but it's just it makes.
That's why I don't agree. That's why I don't agree with the playoffs.
Yeah,
I don't agree with the playoffs in the Championship or the League One or League Two. Just put 3 up, bring 3 down. Just do that. I've watching the league. Was it last night? Oxford United finished 3rd on 67 points. Bolton Wanderers finished 3rd on 77, and Oxford went up. I don't get it. Just 3 up, 3 down. No playoffs, no nothing. Just have it nice and simple like that.
Well, both my teams got done in the playoffs. My Peterborough finished. I think they finished. Oh, of course, I'll go to the bloody page. It was 3rd. I'm going to guess 3rd or 4th. Come on, where do they finish? I'm looking 4th. They finished 4th, and it turns out that is it Oxford went up against Bolton?
Right. Yeah.
And then Barnet finished 2nd in the conference, got smashed by Solihull, and then Solihull lost to somebody else in the conference final. You think all that season's work for Barnet, and that's in a 24 league, so they're playing 46 games in there, and then they finish 2nd, and then 1 game later they're out. You think,
they're out.
Fuck me. It's no justice in it.
No, I don't agree with them. Anyway, back to the Arsenal.
The game, the goals. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I thought it was a poor game. I thought it was a poor performance. It certainly wasn't the performance I was expecting. I was expecting us to come out the traps. I was expecting us to be on fire for the whole game. But I thought it was a very slow, lethargic game. Almost as if the players didn't believe it could be done.
The fans did. Femi was at the game. Femi said it was the stadium was vibrating with the sound. It was the build up to the game inside and outside the stadium was absolutely stunning. But it did seem a little bit almost like they were they resigned to the fact that we weren't going to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
look, to turn up.
The players are like us. They're not, they're not idiots. I know they've got a job to do, but the players would have woken up this morning just like us fans. Yes, I believe we can do it. but is it really realistic that we can do it? You know, are West Ham gonna get a draw or beat Manchester City at the Etihad? You ask 100 people, 99 people will say no. Simple, it's simple as that. And those 99 people would have been proven right. We've all been proven right. I would imagine everyone in the chat woke up this morning and felt the same as me. The head is saying, "Oh yeah, West Ham can get a draw. West Ham can nick a draw."
Come on, yeah. I thought West Ham were at home.
Yeah, but the heart is saying, "Don't be such a div, Craig. There is no way West Ham are going to get a draw against Manchester City or beat Manchester City. Absolutely no chance." So I think the players, if they're honest to themselves, would have had that in the back of their head. Now they've got to be professional. They've got to go out there and they've got to make sure that they've done their job. And they did. So I'm happy that they've done their job and got the win. After quite a poor performance, I have to say. I mean, very good to get the equaliser in the first half. Tomiyasu with a nice finish there, just on the edge of the box to get it back to 1-1.
Yeah. And
then the second half then was just kind of, it just kind of plodded along, didn't it? It just kind of plodded along, and you could see it coming. You were hoping that it was going to come, and then finally it did. But then, of course, VAR tried to even take that one away from us. But fortunately, probably one of the first times I've ever seen it, actually. A referee went to the screen and actually kept with the same decision.
And even more, he was wrong.
Yeah, because it was handball. Everyone could see it was handball.
Imagine if we won the title on that. They'd all be going mental. There'd be riots in Manchester. There'd be riots in Essex.
How long could we have dined out on that for? Oh my God! You could just see the headlines now. Hand of God number 2. How good would that have been? Oh. Rudy there, look, my head dropped already when they scored. And do you know the funny thing about the time when they scored?
Yeah.
1 minute, 15 seconds. Philip Foden, 1-0 Manchester City. Check it out.
What was that? Say that again? I was reading someone's comment.
They scored their first goal on 1 minute, 15 seconds. Just to rub it in a bit more. Just to rub it in a bit more.
Rudy says, you read that bit out. Stan, you should have come on, Stan. Agreed, Scott. My head was saying we could do it, but I weren't opening my wallet. I thought West Ham had a chance until I heard that West Ham were away. And then I went, no chance. Rudy says, good for us that Tommy managed to level the game before half-time. Had a name I've not seen before. Hello, JH House Media. Hi, Danny and Craig. Feel so deflated tonight, but at least we are getting closer. I'm 61 in 2 months. I'm running out of time to see my team successful again. Do you think Man City are worried enough about us for us to get them to the title next year? Because I reckon we are.
I think so. Like I said, I'll go back. Let me put it to the chat. I think we're only a striker away.
Yeah.
I'll ask the chat what positions. Just type it in GK, centre back, whatever. I think we're only a striker away from winning a title. Sorry, gassy Heineken. I think we're only a striker away from winning a title. Look, let's go through the team. David Raya, Golden Glove, first season at Arsenal. Unbelievable. Yeah. Ben White, best right back in the league, in my opinion.
Beautiful bastard as well. So get the ladies
beautiful brown bastard. Gabriel Saliba, best centre-back partnership in the Premier League, in my opinion.
By a mile.
Left back.
Now
we might have a little issue at left back. If he intends to play this stupid inverted left back I don't like it. I'm a traditionalist. 4-4-2, 4 at the back.
Yeah.
Who will it be? Probably Jurriën Timber, won't it? At left back.
Oh, so I think so. Yeah, because he's another one.
Okay, so far we're Raya, White, Gabriel, Saliba, Jurriën Timber.
Yep.
Martinelli, Odegaard, Rice, Saka. There's Thomas Partey there as well.
No, get him out.
No, okay. I'd agree with you there. I think I'm cashing in on Partey as well.
It looks like Bruno Guimaraes from Aston Villa, £80 million release clause. He's a bastard, but he'll be our bastard. And when there are bastards, we like them.
I do like a few busts. Like, I always wanted to sign Diego Costa.
Well, we've got a load of bastards in our side, haven't we? We've got a load of. Remember when Wenger went from the Petit Vieira days of you don't fuck with either because you're going to get broken to having a team full of Oompa Loompas of Nasri and Fabregas and Arshavin and who was the one on the left wing? The Hleb. You blow on them and they fall over. That was one of the biggest mistakes he ever went. The tiki-taka, Barcelona-style little players rather than the bastards. And now you look at our back four, you ain't going to fuck with any of them. They're going to have you. And then you've got Partey, you've got Rice, you've got Havertz. They've all got elbows in the right places.
Absolutely. And then the weak, you've got Saka on the right wing. Then the only weak department for me, I'll probably be a bit harsh on Havertz, so I'll probably just put him to the side there. But Gabriel Jesus wasn't good enough this year. 4 goals in 27 games is just not enough to be at Arsenal.
I mean, that's not good enough for a central midfielder.
No, it's not. It's not. Stan says striker, cover for Odegaard and cover for Saka, replacement for Partey. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
When you look at the goals that we scored this season, I'm just scrolling down to them. Premier League goals, Saka 16, Trossard 12, Havertz 12, and he only played half a season. Odegaard 8, Jesus 4. Hold on. Top to bottom. Havertz 12, Odegaard 8, Rice 7, Martinelli 6, Eddie Nketiah 5, 3 of which were in 1 goal. 5 own goals. And then Jesus got the same number of goals as White and Gabriel on 4. Saliba on 2 and a few players on 1. I mean, when you're a striker, forward, when you're a forward, that's what he is. He's not a striker, he's a forward. And you get the same number of goals as your right back and your centre back.
And the defensive midfielder. And the defensive midfielder scored more goals. Yes.
Yeah, Rice got 7.
Yeah, so take it back to what I said at the start. A striker away from winning the league.
Yeah.
If we can keep those goals, coming, because that is a great amount of goals to come from midfield.
It is.
I mean, we always had a problem scoring goals from midfield. Now we haven't got that problem because we are scoring most of our goals from midfield. Imagine what we could do if we could add a 20, 25 goal a season striker. We'd have had the league sewn up a month ago.
Yeah, it's always a sign of a good team. Remember back in the day, if Ian Wright didn't play, we didn't win. We didn't score goals.
Yeah.
And that's where we got to the Cup Winners' Cup final against Zaragoza. Wright was suspended or banned or injured. And if Henry didn't play at times, we were in trouble. We had a load of other great players, but near the end, Henry didn't play, we didn't score, we didn't win. This team, you take out any player, and there are other players around them will score goals, and that is the sign of a great team, plus the defensive record. Then you don't need to score 3 or 4 goals a season. Carry on with talking about the players you can replace, but remind me about what Andy Kelly said. Someone in the chat, remind me about Andy Kelly when Craig has finished this bit about who we'd get. Go on.
Who's Andy Kelly?
The Arsenal historian bloke. He made a really good tweet.
Go for it, because I'm kind of finished, really. It's a striker for me.
Well, I'll read out what some of the people have here. Stan says Bruno Gummy Bears would be good. He's the and Phil made up the name. Gabriel, or was it Stan? Gabriel Megalegs, because neither of them can say his name. Stan says Bruno Gummy Bears would be good. On his first day, he had to stand still and take an elbow in the head from Havertz. That's
then all is forgiven.
Yeah. Phil Macker says the Oompa Loompa era, I love it. Rancid says Nelly was poor too. A lot of people were saying Nelly has had a terrible season. Well, he hasn't progressed from last season. I think he got 15 Premier League goals last season. This season he's got 6 or 7. Liam says swap ESO and Ramsdale for Guameres, for Gummy Bears. Drago says Jesus hasn't been the same after that ACL injury. So many players aren't. Sai says Havertz is not innocent. He looks like that, but he's a secret bastard.
Secret bastard, I like it.
Liam says Jesus' numbers are terrible. Stefan Selby. Hello, mate. Stan says Havertz is like Damien from the Omen films. But Drago says Isak or Vlahovic for me. Well, Juventus are in trouble. They sacked Allegri. And now they're looking for someone new. Yeah, sacked him with 2 games to go.
Wow, I never heard that.
Yeah, BX said Mikel needs to work out where Rice is playing and then get someone to play alongside him in midfield. Good point, that, isn't it? DM won for 3 weeks, then he's the left 8, and then he's a DM, then he's a left 8. It shows the quality of that of Declan Rice that he can do that and still bang out 8 out of 10 games week in, week out.
He's a DM for me, absolute DM.
Yeah, he is. Or get someone like Gummy Bears, and then we can have both of them swapping places. The point that there we go. Let's do that little tweet there. The point that Andy Kelly made was, it's a shame, he's on Twitter, it's a shame we didn't get Arteta in before we got Emery. Just imagine where we would be 2 years further ahead in the process. We'd have won the league by now. What do you think to that?
It's all hearsay, isn't it?
Well, it's good.
It's all hearsay, isn't it? Do you know? I it might be a good point. I don't know, but it's all hearsay. What ifs? What about? What if we had done? What if we'd have done this? What if we'd have done that? Who knows where we've been? It might have been too early for him, and he might have been absolutely pants, and he might have ended up being like Emery. Or was that extra year or year and a half a good thing to keep him up with Pep, learning his trade? I don't understand people who can't see how the progression that we've made under Mikel Arteta. There is still people out there who are denying the fact that we have progressed. What is it that these people are seeing that people like me and you are not? Is it?
Richard Gooner. Rich the Gooner, I've followed him for years. He's got his own channel over and over and over again. He won't have it that we are better under Arteta. He wants him gone. So does old fucking Noncy Lee. He wants him gone. And they both got channels where they moan about it. Could that be it? Because we're old men when it comes to the podcasting world. We've seen all these people, and they made their names off of the back of slagging off Arsenal and Wenger and Emery. Are they just keeping on their image, their style, their tagline of being arseholes no matter who's in charge?
You see, I have to be careful what I say here now.
Put what Draco puts.
Yeah.
Look at shit, Craig.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Perfect.
But I have to be a bit careful what I say here because, I've had dealings with the two of them and not very nice dealings. But
yeah. No, yeah. You lost your account because of one of the pricks.
I think, this is my personal belief, I think they don't believe what they say.
Yep.
I think it is a character. I don't believe for 1 minute that the two of them are like they are on screen off of it. And I think I totally believe that they are, and I am going to give them, especially one of them, I'm going to give him his flowers in saying that he plays the game very, very well.
All the way from Spain. We're not naming any names.
Whatever country it is.
Yeah. Wherever he's on the run from.
They play the game very, very well.
Consistent.
And they earn money from it.
Yeah, a lot of money.
So why are they going to, once you've got the character out there, or I might be wrong. People might be like that off the camera and on the camera, but there's no way, if I was doing that, there's no way all of a sudden I'm going to change into this all-hailing, all Arteta-loving fella, because then I would be lying to myself. So if it's not character-based, perhaps I should give him a little bit of respect for sticking by their guns. I don't know. I don't know.
And lots of numbers. We have progressed as a club under Arteta, no question. However, what significant silverware have we won yet? How many seasons do you give Arteta with a current or more investment and no change? BX says it's tribal bias that goes back to his playing days. Arteta has been in England non-stop since 2005 as a player, as a coach, and as a manager. He's as English as they come and understands the game. What else have we got? Des says, no, it's a bad point. Someone needed to succeed Wenger and fall flat, firstly, given the next man. Yeah, that's what's going to happen at Liverpool with old Feyenoord manager. Liam says it's for clicks. Archangel says it's their business model. Liam says just ignore them, they'll go away. BX follows it up with exactly, it's all about the revenue that's generated from the streams. Clown show at the best. J-Rob has changed his name. J-Rob Detailing Ireland.
Oh,
you got a website, J-Rob?
Yeah, whereabouts?
Yeah, let us know. If you've got a website, put it in the chat and we'll highlight it.
And if you're anywhere near I am, then I wouldn't mind my car doing, if that's what it means, detailing.
I had the Merc done once, the convertible, 80 quid. Now it's growing. I've got mould growing on the inside of the car because it's not been used, not even been started in 2 years. I need to get that car done, but it looked lovely. Stan, wise words. Goldbridge is the best. It's like performance art. He's playing character, highly entertaining. And when was the last time Goldbridge said something that you went, that's nonsense? Every time he does it lately. I even listen to his podcast now, the one he does on YouTube. Brilliant.
He's brilliant. I like Mark. I have never had the privilege of speaking to him, but I'd love to. But again, it's not his real name. Everyone knows it's not his real name.
Yep.
He goes. I mean, I actually watch. I'm not into FIFA or anything like that, but I actually watch him playing FIFA because it is thoroughly entertaining.
Is he
because
shit?
No, he's not. He's actually quite good at it.
Oh.
But when he loses, it is absolutely hilarious. His one-liners are absolutely brilliant. Some of the stuff that man comes out with, and it comes out straight away. I'd have to think of weeks. I'd be sitting here for weeks thinking of the one-liners.
And he will do it for an hour non-stop of quality points.
Yep.
He doesn't talk about going to the toilet or what he's wearing, or he doesn't have a cat interrupt him or some kid come in and kick him in the legs. He wants you to get out of the room. Russ says, Goldbridge is a character much like in the vein of Alan Partridge. True. Yeah. It is true. The last one with Man United they lost a game. And he picked up the chair and tried to throw it and just rolled it over a little bit. Not completely committed.
Yeah,
Drago says, a player you'd be sad to see them go in the summer.
Oh.
Smith Rowe. Or Ramsdale.
Yeah, but why? Why are you sad about seeing Smith Rowe go? Are you sad because he's been here for so long?
Yes.
Or are you sad because you feel he's got potential?
Yes. All of the above. How about you? What you got?
I don't know. Who would I be sad to see go? I don't know, Dan. It's a really tough question. Can we change the question to who do I think should go?
If you want, yeah. I mean, there's a whole win already. I've got a little list of people that are leaving. It's under leaving. Ovi Hedgie is a goalkeeper. Raul Waters, a young star. He's leaving. Kiddo Taylor Hart going. Arthur Nkonkwo is going. Lewis Brown's gone to West Ham. Suarez and El Neni have all confirmed they're gone.
Well, I think Russ actually. No, is it Russ? Yes, Russ hits the nail on the head brilliantly there. Look, ESR, Eddie and Nelson need to go for the sake of their careers. Arteta doesn't trust any of them really. Now, I don't know, is it about trust, Russ? If we were to sit down and actually discuss ESR, Eddie and Nelson, we can go in the chat and we can say, right, ESR, Eddie and Reece Nelson, are they good enough to be in this Arsenal team if we're talking about winning leagues? Are they good enough? Are they good enough backups to have on the bench if we're going to go win in the Premier League?
Well, ESR
that would be my question.
But Eddie and Nelson aren't. ESR just needs a good run. He needs to be believed in and get a run of games. Today, I mean, if I go and have a look at his recent games, you carry on talking. I'm going to go and find it and read out a list of the recent games that he's played and how many minutes he's got whilst being fully fit.
I mean, let's talk about the legend that is El Neni. Standard Man says, "I'll be sad to see El Neni go. He may only be 70% of some of our better players, but he always give us that 70%. Unlike some who have just wanted to nick a living." The thing I'll say about Mohamed El Neni, right, is that bloke cost us £5 million.
Yeah.
£5 million, and he has been the absolute role model professional throughout his whole time at Arsenal. Yes, he gets a lot of stick. He gets a load of banter. He's like the man who always escaped the transfer. He's like the man who always escaped the transfer list for the last 5 years. But look, yeah, those are the type of players that have got to go. El Neni has got to go. Reece Nelson has got to go. Eddie Nketiah has got to go. There's my player I'm sad to see go.
Who?
Aaron Ramsdale.
I'll
be sad to see him go. I will be sad to see him go. Because, and I'll tell you why. The season before this one, he was probably one of the biggest reasons why we got in the Champions League. He was a superb goalkeeper that year. And then all of a sudden, he makes one mistake. Okay, people will say, oh, but it wasn't that mistake. He's made plenty of mistakes. I get that. Goalkeepers are always prone to mistakes. We've seen Raya make some horrible mistakes. But I still don't like the way, I still don't like the way he was treated because of the one mistake. But Arteta proved me wrong because Raya came in and he won the Golden Glove. But I still don't like the way he was treated just for one mistake. When you make a mistake as a goalkeeper, it's different to making a mistake as a player. Massively. Because Aaron's got to stand there for another 75 minutes mulling over the mistake that he's made. But an attacker or a defender can run around and run it out of the system or make amends straight away. Or do you know what I'm trying to say? It's a very, very lonely position, goalkeeper.
Being an ex-goalkeeper yourself, you know all about that.
Very, 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 very lonely. That's who I'm sad to see go. Aaron Ramsdale, to answer the question.
I was going to read out. I didn't realise. Smith Rowe was out he missed the games 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16 with a knee injury. Game 17, he played a minute. Then he's on the bench. Then 11 minutes. Then on the bench. Then 21. Then 71. Then bench. Then he had a dodgy ankle. And then back the next game for 6, 14. Bench. 85 against Luton. Got an assist. Bench. 11. 5 benches in a row and 21 minutes today. If you, as a player, Craig, who you're going to... Plus, we don't get... In the old days, you're playing for the Overton combination. You're playing in the reserves for... Go and have half hour. Go and speak to Liam Brady. Tell him I said you're playing half an hour in the reserves. Just keep yourself going. When you're all doing week after week after week, sat on the bench, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, you can't show your ability. Because, like I always say, there's a difference between fit and match fit, isn't there?
There is, hugely. But then again, I'll go back to the manager. I don't think it's a trust issue. Does Mikel Arteta think that ESR is good enough? We can sit here and discuss it with the chat, and the chat can come back and say, yes, he is good enough. He is good enough. You can say that he's good enough. I can say that he's good enough. But if Mikel Arteta doesn't think he's good enough, then we have to trust that decision. And it pains me to say it, but I don't think he will make that much of an impact on this squad. I really don't. You've got Odegaard that plays his position. You could put Havertz in that position. You could put Trossard in that position. You could put Partey in that position. You could put Fabio Vieira in that position. You could put Jorginho in that position. Need I say more?
Indeed. Funniest point here. Russ Morgan puts Saka to have only one leg and Arteta wouldn't trust Nelson to replace him. J. Rob Detailing in Ireland, the finest car detailing that you can find in
County
Shamrock,
Mayo. In County Mayo.
In the Shamrock Isles, he has stuffed
€5
down our pants like dirty strippers that we are. Biscuit Fund, thanks for all the hard work, chaps. I don't get to see live shows much anymore, but always listen to the recorded shows while I'm working. Thank you very much, J. Rob. That it's something made me. Arseblog said the other day he's giving £50,000 last month out of the money that he makes. And I work that if you make 50 grand a month minimum, he's not giving the entire month's earnings, 50 grand a month. That's £600,000 a year. I don't make £60 a year doing this. And he makes 600 grand.
I don't even think. I mean, I don't know what we're doing wrong.
What are we doing wrong, Craig?
I don't think I ever made £60 a month either when I was doing same old Arsenal. We was getting 1,500 viewers every week, and I don't even think I was getting that. But I didn't. Not for the money, is it?
Back in the day when Jason was hosting this and he was gone full AFTV, I'd have had enough. I tells you. Sometimes we make a couple of £100 a show, and that paid for all of the computer I got here on the screens, paid for his computer, paid for everything, wiped out all the money that the pod. I mean, now the pod owes me about £2,000. Doesn't matter though because I don't need money. So yeah, it's not like I'm going to go. Can't afford to run the pod anymore. No, that's never going to happen. I've been selling my cat's poo on eBay. I don't know how I come to that.
Oh, there's another tenner. Look at that. $10 for more biscuits.
I was about to say, look at this cheeky monkey there, Chris Lodato, friend of the pod, been on a couple of times. If he'd stop being drunk and not doing it on his phone. He does it on his phone. He lives in a caravan by the river and he's got crocodiles as pets. And then what does he go there? He goes down and here's 10 for Danny not to have a biscuit. I'm on day 7 of 0 carbs, 0 everything. Thanks, Chris. Very kind of you. And then Phil Macker, who does not live in Norwich, who lives in Hunstanton, he will be glad that I've pointed that out. He only goes to Norwich to go and annoy Ellis and Nick. He says he's given us £10, £9.99, bargain. Just 100 notes for my season-long bet on who wins each league. So have some fun for yourself, Danny. Very kind of you. Thank you very much. That's half of the podcast paid for nearly for a year. That's jolly good. And what else did I miss? Chris says, Chris is drunk. What a season. Up the fucking ass. He's drunk. I said we'd stop doing it. Good point from Stan. That number 10 shirt weighs heavy, as does the 14, Stan. You missed out that. So numbers, Craig. Do you give a fuck about squad numbers?
I couldn't give a shit. I couldn't give a rat. I remember, who was it that joined? Who was it that was it? No, it was Nketiah, wasn't it? When Nketiah got the 14.
Yeah.
And then the eruptions about Nketiah getting a number 14 shirt. And then I think I done a TikTok when I was experimenting with TikTok. What a fucking website! What a social medfight! What a social media site that is! And I remember, was it? So we brought in someone, and they got Rob Holding's number, and I made a TikTok. How dare they? Who was that?
Wasn't Rob Holding 22?
Oh, was 24? It Vieira 21? Was it 21? Fabio Vieira?
I'm going to go back and have a look. Someone will probably beat me to it. I'm scrolling down on the old Wikipedia. You go to defenders. Big Bob Holding was number 16.
16. So who came in on 16?
16 this season is no one.
Oh.
Just make sure.
Are you sure?
I often can't count. No 16.
No 16. Oh, okay. No. It must have been someone else then.
Well, but Gabriel and Nketiah changed their numbers, and so did Saka changed his from 77. I mean, I think Odegaard. I mean, Smith Rowe's not keeping the 10. I think maybe if we get a new striker, they may want the 10. I mean, Odegaard's happy with the 8, but he should be wearing a 10.
Oh, will Havertz get it?
Havertz. No, I don't know. I can't remember what number he had.
But to answer your question, I couldn't give a rat's ass about what number is on the player's back. Don't give a shit. My old saying would be the Tony Adams one.
Yeah.
Remember what is it? Remember the name on the front of your shirt, and we'll remember the name on the back.
That's it.
Doesn't matter what bloody number it is.
Russ says Tim Brav in the 12 really irks me. Right back 2, left back 3, centre backs 5 and 6.
4 and 5.
5 and 6, like in the Bold and O'Leary, Adams, Keown days. Left wing 7, right wing. No, left
9.
wing 11, right wing 7, and then striker 9 or 10. And if you're going to have playing behind him, then it's a 10 for Lord Bergkamp. Stan says Gallas with a 16 number 10 madness.
Gallas, William Gallas. Oh my God! I even forgot that he played for us.
BX says squad numbers potentially available in the summer. 3, which is who's got 3? I've got the numbers up here. Number 3 is no one. No one has the 3.
Up for grabs.
Can I sort this by squad number? I can. Tierney's got the 3.
Tierney's still 3. I mean, there's another one who's got. I mean, that's another one on the out list, isn't it?
Remember when he was our player of the season and the man that we all put all of our hopes and dreams on to bring Arsenal back? That didn't last long. 10 is Smith Rowe. 14 is Nketiah. 17 is Suarez. You're probably going to get 15 for Kiwior's going to go. Hopefully, number 9 for Jesus is going to go. 5 for Partey. That's another one to Ramsdale will lose the number 1 shirt. Trossard might get a lower number. 21 for Vieira. He's going to go. 22 for Raya because he's going to take 1. Lukonga needs to go. 23. Nelson 24. 25 if you're African. 25 because everybody wants 25 if they're African because of Kanu. Marquinhos 27. Kai's on 29. Karl Hein. I mean, he's been there 100 years. 33 Okonkwo. 35 Zinchenko. Hopefully he'll go. Maybe Declan Rice to get a lower number. Maybe if he gets to 5.
Number 4, surely.
Yeah, well, who's at 4 at the moment? Ben White. Ben White should have number 2. I'll tell you, if I get in there, I'm sorting
Ben
out
White
the numbers.
2, and then perhaps Saliba should have. Gabriel and Saliba should be 5 and 6.
Archangels, remember when they were talking of retiring the number 6? You don't retire games unless players die in the Premier League. You can't retire numbers because we'd retire 6, 8, 10, 14.
I'd have made an exception after that goal against Everton.
Oh, my favourite player, my favourite game, my favourite season, my favourite goal. Saliba had number 12 before, and now he's got 2. You can't have that.
Again,
Havertz.
This is why I don't know who has numbers because I don't give a shit.
BX says Havertz wears 29 for all of his clubs. Liam says it's the curse of the number 9. That's a problem. Chris Lodato says numbers don't score goals. Shut up.
Correct.
Stan says he hates Saliba with 2. Play the badge, not the number, says Phil. Wise words. Rice should be a 4. Brady's Banana says play for the badge on the front. They'll remember the name on the back.
That's the one.
Trav's turned up. Play for the... said the same thing. Drago says El Neni with the 4 was Pink Fanta. There's actually a website that shows you every number every season and how it changes. And where it does... Stan says, I do have an ADH thing with squad numbers. Well, you got to, ain't you? Gallas sat and cried in the centre circle at Birmingham. What a captain he was, says Phil Macker. What a captain indeed. Russ Morgan, Vieira is going nowhere. Even Stan are adamant. And Stan says, we should have just burnt the number 10 shirt after Gallas. Oh dear. Archangel says Gallas, Silvestri, and Welbeck did it for me with Wenger.
Silvestri, oh my God! Didn't he score on his debut against Spurs? Silvestri, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I think he did. I don't know what he's doing now. Travis says I think Vieira should go. He's not been up to the Premier League level. Plus, he's got £35 million. I think it was. Was it 35 million to go here?
Yeah, I mean, probably one of Arteta's not most impactful signings, wasn't it? He's a good player, but again, I'll go back to is he good enough? Okay, let's put it this way. Look at Manchester City. All right, I know they've got all the money in the world, this, that, and the other. But every person on their bench can go into the team and be as good, or if not better, than the player that they've replaced. Yeah. That's where we need to be, and that's where I trust Arteta to bring in the right players at the right time. He started doing it. He has started doing it. Yes, we're never going to be able to compete with Manchester City for as long as they're allowed to get away with it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's all about putting square blocks into the square holes. Zinchenko is probably the most frustrating player for a very, very long time that I've seen at this club. But that's only because he's, am I being harsh on him? Because he's obviously taking the instructions from the manager.
Yeah.
I don't get all this inverted. I really don't get all this inverted stuff. Again, for people who have watched me on podcasts, I'm a traditionalist. It's 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 for me. I don't get this inverted winger. Just do it simple. I mean, I remember watching a program with Arsene Wenger while he was going through why he played 4-4-2, and he was saying that 4-4-2 is the formation that covers the whole pitch.
Yeah.
So if 4-4-2 is the formation that covers the whole pitch, and you've got four at the back, why is the left back going inverted? Just don't get it. I hate it. 4-4-2 all the way for me.
But you see, when Ben White does it, there's a game 4 or 5 games ago where Ben White played inverted right back, and my God, he was brilliant. Him and Saka were on fire together, and I loved it. But trying to get that to work on the left-hand side when you've got Zinchenko constantly injured, constantly not playing, and then to get him to come and do it, he just can't do it, and I don't like it. So hopefully it's the end of it. It's amazing how quickly we've gone. Oh, we've only got Kieran Tierney as a decent player. Oh, Saka's come through. Now we've gone and bought Zinchenko and Jesus. My God, they are Premier League winners. They are going to be brilliant at our club. 5 minutes later, we've outgrown them. That just shows how well Arteta's Arsenal are doing.
There's a good point there then from Bulgarian Guna there. That it's how we do our build-up though, Craig. It's 3-2-5. Fullback has to invert. Okay, thank you very much for that comment. I have no problem with being put right. But if that's the case, then Zinchenko isn't the right player. If he wants to play an inverted left back, then he's got to get someone else who can do it better than him.
True, it is. What else have we got there? Stan says we go 4-4-2 when we're off the ball. I mean, they are lovely straight lines. I mean, George Graham will be in the stand tickling himself at all those straight back 4 lines. I love it. And says when the left back is actually a left midfield and can't defend. Yeah. I always say in the preview shows, if Zinchenko's playing left back, you tell your right winger and right back, watch till he goes to midfield, then run, because he's not quick, he can't get back, and he can't defend. He's used to playing for, like he does for Ukraine, playing as DM, where he can damage people. And I'm sure if he played for DM, it's just annoying that we needed a DM for so long, and now we've got Zinchenko, Partey, and Rice, and Jorginho. We've got 4 DMs at the club, and for 20 years, we couldn't get 1 at the club. For fuck's sake. Sums it all up. Phil says, I like 4-4-2, but that makes us dinosaurs. Well, you can have an adaptive 4-4-2. Stan says, noticing more teams going 2 up front, 4-4-2, 4-4-1-1 is coming back. Well, all tactics are generational, aren't they? They're rotational. They come in and they come out. And then Italy was always the place where you played 3 centre-backs. And then you see some teams doing it. And then people forget that when Arsene Wenger took over at Arsenal, we were playing 3 centre-backs. It was Adams, not O'Leary, Adams, Keown, and Bold, I think it was, playing 3 centre-backs. When he came in for the end of, he came in the November, and for the rest of the season, most of it played 3 centre-backs, which was weird to see. I thought, oh, how continental. Have croissants for lunch while we're at it. Drago says he did last summer, Timber. Yeah. That is a huge point about our defensive frailty. I mean, I say defensive frailties. We've been the best defense in the league, but at times
that's the weak
that's
link.
been our weakness.
That's the weak. Yeah, that's the weakness. I mean, how many times did the ball go over the top of Zinchenko's head?
Yeah, like Chris says, most importantly, best defense in the league.
Absolutely.
And Stan says, Flair jeans come back, so anything is possible. As long as the ripped jeans don't come back, because all these suckers now bought their ripped jeans and now sewing them back up again. Never.
Did anyone have the jeans? Did anyone have the black jeans that had the different coloured arse sections on them?
Never
remember them? Remember
I'm
them?
not even wearing trousers now.
Yeah, well, I'm only in pants as well.
Podcasting of kings. That's how we podcast.
That's
half naked. Russ says Timber will be like a new signing next season. Get that on a t-shirt. Well, hopefully. What's wrong with a croissant? Nothing. Well, it's got gluten in it, so it's a no from me. But it's got carbs. No fucking carbs for a week, Craig. Actually, I had a tin of soup last night. Cream of chicken soup, 20 carbs. I felt very naughty. Very naughty
for 20 carbs.
Yeah. Phil says Ponzi breakfast and numbers. So what else we got? Drago, I like shorts. Stan says grey Farahs.
Is that the jeans?
Oh, maybe. I mean, Stan is a style icon. Now he's grown his hair back. I mean, who knew he wasn't bald? He has a full head of hair. He was mugging us off. Yeah, he's all slicked back now.
Nah, he's been to Turkey. I reckon he's been to Turkey.
Oh, he was away for a few weeks.
Yeah,
he said he had a bad back.
Yeah, he's been to Turkey.
John Hayes said I had Flintstone jeans. Right. Anybody got any questions before we go? Because we've been going an hour and 6 minutes. Stan says Farah trousers. He could be making it up for all I know. I did just go and spend 400 quid at Bad Rhino on a load of T-shirts and stuff because I've not bought any in 10 years.
I cannot remember the last time I actually sat down and brought myself clothes.
No, I don't like doing it. So they're all in the box over there. You can see it just in over there. See that big box there? Half of it's going back because I thought if I like the T-shirts, I'll buy 3 of each. And I bought 15 T-shirts. So some of them I like and some of them I'll be like, there's acid wash. What is this? 1986? Grow up. Pete says, oh, what's all this then? Thought there was not going to be a post-match show, you sneaky bastards. Well, everyone let me down, and then Craig went, I've dumped the kids and the missus, and I'm available. So I said, okay then.
That's actually not true. That's actually not true. I'm going to tell the truth because we mustn't lie.
No.
Danny said, no, bollocks. I ain't doing it.
I did. So I can't be bothered.
And I said to Danny, come on, son. It take you 5 minutes to set it up. Let's do it.
It was partly because I sat out the front in the sun on my phone, editing eBay. And he persuaded me. And I'm glad you did, Craig, because it's turned out nice again. Yeah. Phil says, I put a question in earlier. Go and type it again, Phil. Stan says, getting the Gabriel Mega Legs teeth done next visit to Turkey. Drago says, is it coming home next season? I think he means it.
No, I think he means the Euros, doesn't he?
Oh, that I don't give a fuck.
Is that this summer?
Yeah. Starts in June. Yep. It feels like the last one was only last year.
There's one man that will stop it from coming home, and that's the bloody manager.
Is it?
Southgate.
Oh, that prick.
The team is there. That team, if you look at that team, like that England team on paper, it should be, and that has always been the problem of England over the, many a tournament. On paper, England have the best, I believe, the best football team in Europe, and they should walk it. But the only thing holding them back is Gareth Southgate. Look at the last final, 1-0 up after 9 minutes, and the instructions were to sit back and defend the goal. Oh, why not go for the kill? Get another one, you've won it. Absolutely, no doubts about it. If they'd have gone on and got another goal, they would have won it. But look, Southgate's tactics.
Because he's a prick.
Yep.
Hopefully he'll leave. I mean, that is every time, every Beckham, Rooney era, generational talent. Bellingham, Saka, Foden. My God.
I mean, and I'm going to say it now because he doesn't play for Spurs anymore. But Harry Kane as well up front. I didn't, you know, I would never have said that if he was still playing for Spurs. But Harry Kane up front.
Of this little kitty. Bayern München at Bundesliga 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23. Golden Trophy 24. Third place. Harry Kane little picture.
And then to rub it in even more, his top goal scorer award was a cannon.
Yes. It was indeed.
Can we get him to Manchester City?
Oh, so there was that picture going around. The only way to stop Man City winning the title is for him to go. They wanted him, didn't they? Oh, we've had another. Shami Sadini Kadre has given us a thumbs up on Facebook. Thank you very much for that. Very kind of you. How many people watching on Facebook? 2, one of which is me. So Patrick Carlson says, "What do you think of the new kit?" I have got it here.
Absolutely love it.
There is the home one, red socks, which is important to people. And
is that a new signing?
I think it could well be. There's the alternate kit with the red shorts, and there's the back of the kit. Too much white for me.
No, I like it. I love the blue stripes. I love the blue Adidas stripes. I like it.
What do you think to the cannon?
Yes. Again, I think it's a lovely addition, but again, I'm going to say it's round the wrong way.
That they could have had an opportunity to change that then, couldn't they?
They could have done. They
missed a trick there. So Phil has a question. Does getting Kai make up for all the Chelsea shit we have signed? Well, I'd add Jorginho to that as well. And I'd add to the fact that they had to have Aubameyang. I mean, that balances him. It went from Barcelona.
That'll do.
But that was hilarious.
Just giving them Aubameyang will get me over the shit they give us.
It is. Pete Colson, can Saka get a sick note to miss the Euros? That poor kid needs a rest. He needs to come and live with me for a couple of months. Get him on the carnivore diet. He'd be shredded like Drago in Rocky IV, and he'd also be 6'6". I don't know how I'm going to make him 6'6". Someone new asked a question further up, but they didn't put it as a question, and so I'm going to go and find it. Here we go. It was Charles Sherian. What do we need to do, excluding transfers, wise, to build 100-point squad? Do we need a 100-point squad? I think we do to beat City.
Well, to beat City, yeah. But I mean, look, we finished. What did we finish second on? What was it? 88, was it?
89 points.
89.
And they had 91. If you look at previous seasons, so they had 91. And then this is all previous season. Last season, 89, which is what we got this season. 93, 86, 99, 98, 100. I mean, that's the banter era for Man City. Averaging 99 points a season, 3 seasons in a row.
I mean, that's unbelievable.
I mean, when you go and have a look further down, when playing a 42-game season, Man United won it on 84 points. They won it on 75. Blackburn won it on 89 points. I mean, to have won the league on 75 points, that is mad. Where have they finished in the league at the moment? I'm going to go back and have a look at the Premier League tournaments. Premier League
75. So, Manchester United won it in 96-97.
So
75.
The lowest number of points is 75. Did we say? Yeah, 96, 97. Man United got it on 75. This season, they would have finished 4th with that. Wow. 16 points behind the leaders.
Imagine.
We can but imagine, can't we? Let's see if we've got any more questions, because it's time's getting on and Craig's got work in the morning. So, can Saka, we've done that one. Russ Morgan says Cole Palmer and Anthony Gordon as well. Decent midfielders.
Yeah.
JH House Media, still defiant, guys. But Danny and Craig, you've helped with the banter tonight. Thank you, guys. Oh, cheers, James.
Don't be deflated, James. Don't be deflated. It's all done and dusted now. There's nothing more we can do about it. It's been a good season. You know, if I'd have told you at the start of the season that we'd finished 2 points behind Manchester City, you'd laugh at me. You would have laughed at me. Everyone would have laughed at me.
Yeah. We need to go to Dubai every 3 months, says Patrick. Good point. 1 point behind invincible season, says how modern football. He's put invisible and then he's put invisible. Do you want to have a third go? Yeah, then he's gone, fuck it, I can't spell. Story of my life, Liam.
Yeah.
And lots of numbers. Leicester 15-16 should have been us. We beat Leicester home and away, and we thrashed them. Wasn't it 5-2 and 4-1 or something? Only team to do so, drew too many games. Right. Before you beautiful bastards put any more questions in the chat, I'm going to say thank you again to J-Rob for the €5. And I'm going to say thank you to Chris Lodato for the $10 and to Phil Macker for the £9.99 for the donations. That's very kind. We don't need donations here. So it's very kind of you to give it to us. Craig, thank you very much for not only turning up, not only being brilliant, but forcing me to do something I didn't want to do. You've made a fat man go for a jog and you've helped him live an extra day.
I don't know about it. I'm not sure about being brilliant. I'm just a normal Arsenal supporter like the rest of us. And I just enjoy talking to people like you about the Arsenal. And that's all it is. And that's all it ever will be.
One more thing before we go. I forgot to do the predictions. 51 seconds and we will be back. See who got... Right, I'm going to do the prediction and then I'm going to unmute both of us and then see if we can talk over it. So here come the predictions from last night. Here is the predictions for Arsenal v Everton on the last day of the season, just before we win the title. Oh, I can't. Ron Reed has gone 4-0 the Arsenal. Terence Tibbs 2-0 Arsenal and 2-2 West Ham. Sire's gone Arsenal 2, Everton 5. Brady, Arsenal 3-0. Rocky, Arsenal 3-0. Patrick, Arsenal 6-0. RK, Arsenal 3-0. Boy 10, Arsenal 3-0. Rudy 2-0. Canterbury Guna 1-0. Pete has gone 4-1. Rocky has gone 3-0. Des 5-1. And lots of numbers 3-1. John Hazy 10-0. Liam has gone 3-0. Rocky 4-0. Rudy 2-0. Phil Macker 3-0. Stan, prediction.
Arsenal 3, Everton 1.
I'm going Arsenal 3, Everton 1. That was the predictions. Thank you very much and good night. No one got it right. You're all fucking useless. That's the gist of that. None of you know what the hell you're talking about. So you fit in perfectly here. So that's it. We're going to go. I'm just making a third do that, this and that. Lovely. Right. So thank you very much to all of you beautiful bastards that have been here this season. Oh, Deke is there. Hello, Deke. Patrick, 2 podcasts go. Oh, very kind. Well, very win's kind. A win, says John. Phil Macker says Deke's had a private arrangement. Liam says so much optimism. Rudy says bye. Deke says unlucky. We have an incredible team for the next 5 years. We do indeed. And Stan says, great head of hair, though, to be fair about himself. Lovely. Right. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Not only today, not only last week, not only this season, but for 10 whole seasons of 1,100 podcasts in 10 seasons. And never knowingly did I make any fucking sense. Craig, it's wonderful to have you as a part of ABW. Thank you very much for joining me today and at other points during the season. Will you be with us next season?
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. It's been an absolute pleasure to come back on and just be a guest and not have to do all the pressing the buttons and all that kind of thing. Thank you for having me on, Danny, and thank you to the ABW listeners for accepting me.
And Chris says, cheers, carb-free, Danny, and formerly known as put Carpenter out. You probably don't know how right you are with that. Hairy little minge. On those wise words, thank you very much and goodbye.
As soon as I scored that goal, I was fucking livid. Get down, dog. Splendid business.
He nearly caught the bloody thing. What are you talking about?
So I was just eating a full quiche. Well, you don't often see them at it. So when you see them in the supermarket, they need to be swagged, microwaved immediately and get the brown sauce on and bosh, Bob's your uncle.
Never in doubt.